Hey everyone, it's Joby. So, fun fact, insomnia is not fun. So I just kind of wanted to get on here, just kind of post some of my late night thoughts while I couldn't sleep. Um, I think we can all agree since the 23rd and 24th. I mean, I know a bunch of people, which I mean, including myself, we were hopeful that maybe it would, but I want everyone to consider this. It's something I brought up before. There's some of y'all who've been on the live streams, which I'm going to start doing those more soon. But ever since the 24th, it's like I've just been just wanting to spend time with the Lord. Just like it's like every night I have nothing I want to do but spend time with Him. I, this was something I'd said over a month ago. I haven't. It's on one of my shorts, but something I awoke to was just like in like a month ago or so ago. But I remember I woke up to, if the dress is a mess, the gig will be big. Now, I came from a background which I did a lot more like theater in high school, which I don't know if it's a well known saying or a saying at all, but it's something someone had said to me. If the dress is a mess, the gig will be big. And it always stuck with me. And it's been true. If the dress rehearsal I was in was a complete flop, it meant the real event went flawless. So it kind of made me think like the 23rd and 24th. I want y'all to think of this like, even, yes, we know it didn't happen. Look at how much mocking and scoffing came about, and the fact it came from also the world. You know, I want y'all to think about like this. Could it be possible that this was really just a dress rehearsal? Almost like looking to see who's really watching and who's just, you know, watching because they think, oh, it's actually going to happen this time, and then they quit watching afterwards. One thing Jesus told us to do is to watch. He had rebuked, and I'm kind of paraphrasing it here, but he had rebuked the religious leaders because they knew that essentially they knew the signs of the weather in the skies, but they couldn't tell the signs of the times. They couldn't discern the times they were in. I want everyone to really think about this. Was it right to set a date for the 23rd and 24th? No. We're not told to sit here and set a date, because we're not going to, truthfully, we're not going to know when. I mean, we're just not going to know. But ever since then, and I've told some of y'all this, my experience I had on the 24th, because I had woken up at like 5:45 in the morning and my whole body just vibrated. Like just out of nowhere, I just woke up to my whole body like vibrating intensely. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And then it seems like ever since then, just this overwhelming sense of joy and just wanting to be close to Jesus. Like ever since then, I tend to think of it like this. That was like a way to kind of see who all's actually still watching. So, friends, look, we see all the events going on in the world. What's going on with Israel? What's going on with the Middle East? What's going on with Europe? I watch other channels and I see all the messages that come through. We're things aren't going to get better, people. Okay, this isn't just something that's going to pass on and things get more peaceful. First of all, and especially this is also for those who think that we're supposed to Christianize the world for Jesus to return. Nowhere does the Bible even say that. Nowhere does it say that. Okay, no, it says Jesus is going to come back to the earth, and at that point, he's going to make everything right, and he will reign for a literal 1,000 years from Jerusalem. So, I just want everyone to remember this one simple fact: Jesus promised he was going to come back, and God's word does not return unto him void. So, just keep in mind, he is coming back. We don't know when, but I'm telling you, people, don't quit watching. Don't quit looking. I promise. Look, he's coming back in an hour we don't expect him to. Okay, think of it like this: the whole debacle that happened not only showed us who really is watching versus who really wasn't watching. They were just riding the boat until it didn't get to its destination. They all just kind of went off the boat, said, "Okay, I'm done." Don't give up. You know, this is really a time for us to really test our faith to know, do we really trust in the Lord's timing? Because y'all, it's going to be his timing. It's not our timing, it's his, period. We're not going to it's really not for us to know the times and the seasons that he's already appointed. Okay, we just need to keep ourselves, our minds, our spirit focused on Jesus and Jesus alone. You know, don't let yourself get distracted with the other things. Like, if anything, this is kind of a good time. I would say even just kind of pull away from social media, spend more time with him, and making sure that, make sure you are ready, because, he is coming. He is coming to get his bride. That is something we know deep down. I know there's plenty of those who would say, no, you get ready to endure the tribulation. Well, baby, I don't know what God you serve, but that ain't the God that I can see all throughout the Bible. Okay, the bride of Christ has been forgiven of all their sins. We've been forgiven of all sins, past, present, and future. We are not appointed unto wrath. Okay, period. We're not appointed unto wrath. Okay, he made a promise that he's going to prepare a place for us, and if he goes to prepare a place for us, he's going to come again and receive us unto himself. That where he is, there we may be also. That is a promise that Jesus himself gave us. Revelation 3:10 tells us he will keep us from, in the Greek is tereo ek, meaning out of, the hour of trial that shall come upon the whole world. Okay, we're going to be kept out of that. And how are we an overcomer? By our faith. Our faith is what makes us an overcomer. You know, always remember, friends, we are not saved by our works. We are saved so that we may do good works. We're not, our good works aren't done to save us. We're saved by grace through faith, and then we do good works as that evidence. Okay, there's not this whole thing of you do works to get saved. That's entirely unbiblical. Just, y'all, in the bigger picture, keep looking up. Don't lose focus. I know deep down he is coming. Okay, he is going to come. Is going to catch us all by surprise, but it'll catch everyone by surprise, but it won't necessarily catch everyone unaware. So keep looking, keep hoping, keep looking up. Okay, the signs are here. We see everything coming into play as we were told it would happen, as it was written down thousands of years ago by the prophets. Keep looking up. Our blessed hope is near. Friends, look up. Your redemption draws near.